So just before we begin to configure K2, let's take a look at what a professional design company is doing to make sure K2 fits with your site. This is one of my favorite template design companies, Joomla Bamboo. They're out of Australia. And this is their newest template called NewsStream. Now here's the really neat part. NewsStream actually uses both K2 and normal Joomla content. These categories are K2 categories. These categories are normal Joomla articles, all beautifully laid out in a wonderful design that comes from Joomla Bamboo. If we look at the K2 template that they've created as part of this overall template, you can see the commenting down the side. It's very clean, latest news with these images built in. You can see some really sharp looking layouts using K2 with social networking, tagging, cataloging, fantastic user profiles, and built-in commenting. Now, I will say, these templates are amazing. You're not going to build this out of the box without some pretty significant Joomla, CSS, and PHP knowledge. But even out of the box, K2 is still pretty impressive. So let's get started. The first thing we need to look at when we open up K2 is the Information tab, just to kind of get a feel on where everything is. So we have all of the items that we need installed for K2. Everything is writable. Everything's installed and enabled, except for the Simple Image Gallery Pro plugin. This is something you have to buy from Joomla Works. That's just kind of a heads up for you there. So that's the Information tab. The next tab would be Parameters, and let's look at these. The default CSS is built into K2, so you might just want to leave that enabled for now. These are the sizes of images that are created when you upload new images into K2. I always find these way too big. An extra small image to me is 50, 75, 100, 125, and 200. But you know what? You can change that and make that work for any way you want. Category image is 100. Placeholders, we're going to leave most of this on right now just to get so you can see what they look like. Show all of the items that are available. And again, once you start to, you might want to go with the defaults until you get used to the way K2 lays everything out. There's a lot going on here. We'll save that, and now let's go back over to the dashboard, and we'll talk about each item in depth. The dashboard takes you back to this screen, obviously. Items are articles in K2. As I mentioned earlier, categories replace sections and categories, and now you have nested categories. Tags are how you tag an article for search engine optimization. Commenting, you can manage your comments here, add extra fields, put them in groups. You can even edit images quickly with Splash Up. In users, generally speaking, K2 will always grab all of your Joomla users and put them into K2. If not, you can always click the Import Joomla Users button here, and it will make sure they're in sync. K2 profiles are a little bit different, but not that much. Really, all they give you is male, female, what user group they're in, and if you're the site owner, this should be you. You can add different K2 user groups, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. And you can upload your own image avatar and have a website and a description on your profile. In our tasks later on, we're going to be creating a group of categories for content. Let's go ahead and just click New, and we'll take a look at what these look like now. There are quite a number of options here. And this is not something we could possibly talk about in 1 or 2 sessions. So I'm going to just leave everything basically on, and then we'll talk about the most important things. So let's set up a first category just for fun. Let's call it News. News is important. It has no parent category. With K2, one of the best things is that you can set one category up the way you like it, and then just choose that category here so that all of the others will inherit those options from that main category. This will save you tons and tons of time. Once you have some extra fields, you can grab them there. You can add a description here. All the news that's fit to be news. You can add an image for this category. Otherwise, it'll just have a placeholder. It's going to use the default template. Leading count of 2. Number of items to display as leading. Let's put that as 1. Columns for leading is 1, and the size of the image for those leading articles is going to be large. Primary, secondary, and links are similar to Joomla categories. And is it a catalog? If it is, then only the items belonging to this category will be retrieved. If it isn't, then everything in the subcategories will be. We showing featured items, default item ordering. And so that's the basic category layout. Under view options then, title, items counter, description, image, RSS, icon, links, subcategory blocks, how many columns, how we're going to show the subcategories. If we want to override the image options. And then item view options in category listings. This is how our items are going to be listed, and you can see all of these things here. And then finally, item view options. So let's say, for instance, I don't want to show the font resizer. My fonts are the right size. I don't want to show that. I just say hide. And you can go ahead and look at all of these options, and they are a number. So I'm going to hit save, and now I have my first category. To create a new category then, it's just as simple. I'm going to call this local because this is going to be under local news. It's going to be in the parent category of news, and I'm going to grab all of those options that I just set up over here from the news category. And that's all I need to do. Now I can add an item into a category. This sounds newsworthy, doesn't it? Select the category for local news. Is it published? Let's feature it just for fun. And tags, we'll call it weirdness and man and sightings. Because later on I'll be able to search for all of the articles under sightings. And for conspiracy theorists, hey, that's important. Incredible but true. And we would add our article here. We can add an image that would be the image at the top of the article. Let's just throw something up there. I can put an image gallery. I can add a video here from YouTube even. All I have to do is go and grab the YouTube ID, any extra fields which we don't have, and any attachments that you want. You can override any of the options that we've already defined. And you can add some metadata here, which I strongly suggest. All right, so we've got our first category and our first news item. Now we come over to our front page and, well, it's not there. Where is it? Well, we need a menu. So let's go back over to our menus. And we'll make a new menu called K2 News, just for fun. So we click on K2. Now what's it going to be? A category list, a tag, a user page, like a blog, or latest items. Let's do the latest items from one or more categories. So we're going to call this K2 News. You would obviously choose something different. I changed my content source from users to categories. I want 2 columns, number of items per page, and I'm going to select the categories that I want. News and local. I can stay in that window and click both, and they'll both show up. So hit save. And so now when I come over to my K2 News, I have my header, the local news, and if I'd put an image in there, it would be there. I could turn that off so nothing appears there. I have my article and the video below. And again, this is all customizable. I could say don't show the video in the category layout, which actually would be much prettier under this circumstances. So when I click on the title, it takes me to my article, print, email, video. It scrolls down to the video because I have one built in. Be the first to comment, scrolls down to my comments. If I click on the link, it gives me a bigger image, and I have my YouTube video completely embedded. If I click on Administrator, it takes me to my bio with all of my articles listed below.